What if the most compelling stories you've ever seen weren't created by humans alone? Imagine narratives so powerful they set a new standard for digital content, all crafted with the help of next-generation AI. Get ready to redefine visual storytelling. Forget everything you thought you knew about digital content creation. We're about to unveil a groundbreaking approach where artificial intelligence doesn't just assist, it empowers you to build deeply resonant visual stories that will leave your audience captivated and wanting more. This is the future of narrative. When you think about the biggest, most powerful stories of our time, the movies that stick with you, the games you can't put down, who do you picture creating them? You probably imagine a director in a chair, a writer hunched over a keyboard, or maybe a massive studio with hundreds of animators. For centuries, that's been the right answer. But what if that's changing? What if the next great storyteller isn't a person or a studio, but a partnership? We're standing on the edge of a new era, one where AI isn't just a tool, but a genuine creative collaborator. This will fundamentally change how we create, share, and experience visual narratives. It's not just about speed or cost, it's about unlocking creative possibilities previously out of reach. And that's the future we're diving into today. It's pretty exciting stuff. Let's get one thing straight. This is way beyond just typing a quirky phrase into a bot and getting a funny picture back. The tools we're seeing in the mid-2020s are on a completely different level. We're talking about next-generation AI that acts like a full-service visual effects team, concept artist, cinematographer, all rolled into one. It can generate not just static images, entire animated sequences, three-dimensional models, and dynamic environments based on simple text prompts. Sketches, even the tone of a script. The AI can take those kernels and visualize them. Take, for example, the independent animated short Echoes of Neapolis, which made waves earlier this year. A project by two creators using a suite of AI tools. They fed their script into a narrative-aware AI which generated character concepts. Then another tool auto-rigged models and animated scenes with realistic physics and cinematic lighting. This fundamentally changes the economics of production. What once took dozens and millions can now be approached by a passionate small team with the right software. The real breakthrough here isn't just the image generation, it's the move towards AI as a true narrative partner. The latest systems are being trained on vast libraries of literature, screenplays, and narrative theory. They don't just know what a dragon looks like. They understand what a dragon symbolizes. They can analyze plot structure, character development, and thematic resonance. So when you're stuck on a story, you can turn to your AI not just for visuals, but for actual ideas. Like having an infinitely patient, incredibly knowledgeable co-writer on call 24/7. Imagine a basic concept. A detective in a futuristic city investigating a mysterious disappearance. Feed it to a narrative AI and it won't just spit out a generic plot. It might ask clarifying questions like, what's the detective's fatal flaw? Or, is the theme loss or identity? Based on your answers, it can suggest multiple plot twists, character arcs, and even subplots you hadn't considered. For characters, instead of a trope, you can dialogue with the AI to generate detailed backstories, specific mannerisms, and sample dialogue that reflects personality. So what does this collaboration actually look like in practice? It's not about handing over control to the machine, it's a back and forth, a creative dance between human intuition and AI's processing power. The best results come from a seamless workflow where the human is firmly in the director's chair, using AI to execute and augment their vision. Upload your script and the AI auto-generates a complete storyboard, determining shot types, a close-up for emotion, a wide establishing shot, and creating a visual panel for each one so the director can instantly review pacing. It can act as a script doctor, flagging pacing, inconsistent dialogue, weak tension, and suggest alternate lines or transitions that you can accept, reject, or edit. The AI provides the data and options. The human provides final creative judgment. It's about augmenting your skills, not replacing them, working at the speed of thought. The next frontier for AI in storytelling isn't just about creating pretty pictures, it's about creating pictures with intent. Visual, bright, cheerful bedroom, side by side with dark, lonely bedroom. Advanced AI models are now being trained not just on images but on data that links those images to human emotions. They're learning the language of visual psychology, which camera angles convey power, which convey vulnerability, which lighting feels nostalgic versus futuristic. AI learns these principles and can apply them. A creator can prompt the AI not just with what to show but how it should feel. Instead of a forest at night, say, a forest at night that feels menacing and claustrophobic. The AI uses cues like framing, palette, and shadow to create that feeling. You iterate, the AI generates variants, you annotate, you nudge color grading and framing until the mood is precise. Tiny details, a wilting plant, a half-full mug, a single shaft of weak sunlight, add layers of emotional information. AI helps you place those deliberate signs. When you design visuals intentionally, the image becomes a vessel for feeling. Emotion is the core of all great storytelling, and AI can be an instrument for playing those human chords. Alright, let's walk through a practical example together. Imagine you're writing a story about a character who has just received devastating news. The scene is set in their apartment. Your script simply says, Maria stands in her living room, shattered. As a creator, you need the visuals to do the heavy lifting to convey her internal state. AI generates a first pass that may look technically good, but maybe the emotion isn't quite right. Lighting too flat, the room too tidy. Refine with emotional descriptors. Make the room colder, emptier, desaturated. A single weak shaft of sunlight with dust motes, longer shadows, muted blues and grays. Adjust posture, slumped, defeated, and add small props. A wilting plant, a half-empty mug. Each detail tells part of her story. The AI processes the changes and produces a new version. Now the image starts to carry a real mood. The final image becomes a visual representation of her grief. Not just a picture of a woman in a room, but the room itself telling the story through collaborative human-AI iteration. This ability to so precisely engineer emotion brings up some important conversations we really need to have. It's one thing for a human artist to use their craft to move an audience, but when an AI reliably generates emotion based on massive datasets, serious ethical questions arise. Marketing and political advertising could be hyper-optimized to trigger fear, desire, or anger, bypassing rational thought to influence behavior at scale. An ad campaign could test thousands of variations to find what creates a feeling of inadequacy and drive purchases. We must consider boundaries. If emotional beats are algorithmically calibrated for maximum impact, does that diminish genuine human connection? Part of art's power comes from knowing a human poured their feelings into it. Creators and companies must champion transparency and safeguards. Audiences need media literacy to understand how these tools work. The power to craft emotion is immense. It requires responsibility. Now let's push this even further. What happens when visual storytelling AIs are combined with real-time feedback? Imagine a movie or a game where the AI senses your emotional state through your webcam, your heart rate, or the choices you make, then adjusts the visuals and story in real time. If the AI detects you aren't startled by a jump scare, it changes tactics. Darker lighting, dissonant music, psychological dread instead of sudden shocks. For positive experiences, if the AI senses excitement, it might expand that section of the story, adding quests or characters related to what you loved. Each viewing could be unique. Your friend might watch the same movie and experience a different story because their emotional reactions shape the narrative. This is immersive entertainment reimagined, a story that watches you back and adapts, blurring film, gaming, and personal experience. So you're inspired and want to try this out. Where do you even begin? Many powerful tools are becoming user-friendly. Look at Midjourney version 8 and Stable Diffusion 4.0. Big communities and tutorials help you learn prompt craft. For narrative work, explore Runway Gen 4 and Pika Labs 2.0 to turn text or images into short animated clips, with camera moves, character animation, and style transfer. Use tools like Narrative Weaver AI for co-writing and plotting. Feed core ideas, run brainstorming sessions, and flesh characters before crafting visuals. My biggest tip: start small and be playful. Pick a single sentence, a line of poetry, or an emotion. Experiment with one-word changes, happy versus ecstatic. And learn the AI's language like an instrument. The tools are ready and only getting better. So here's my challenge. Open a tool, type an idea, hit generate. Start telling your story. Subscribe for more insights into this evolving landscape.